guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be all about my pregnancy fitness and nutrition. First, just want to start off this video by addressing that I feel like I came into this pregnancy with a pretty healthy mindset when it came towards my health, nutrition, and fitness. Basically, since we were already trying, I kind of already was mentally preparing for what this pregnancy was going to, how it was going to probably affect my fitness and my diet. And basically I just went into it with just totally throwing out any type of goals for like aesthetics, anything like that. Fitness and health during pregnancy has absolutely nothing to do with aesthetics, your physical appearance. You know, I feel like if you go into it with that mindset of like you want to look a certain way when you're pregnant, you might be setting yourself up for a really tough mental struggle, because bottom line is your body will change. You don't know how it's going to change, but it is going to change, because along with pregnancy comes a lot of weird things, and some of those weird things just happen to our bodies. So my goals during my pregnancy and my health and fitness goals really centered around a few things. It was going to be about staying strong as possible, and to be honest, my strength was more of my main concern than gaining weight. I know for a lot of women, we're set up because of, I guess, cultural norms and just, you know, diet culture and how it affects females. We're set up to be so afraid of any type of weight gain, even in a moment such as pregnancy, that weight gain is normal, it's a good thing, it's something to expect, and it's something to be okay with. But yet so many women are still afraid of that pregnancy weight gain. I would highly encourage you to try to not be fearful of the weight gain. My main concern was, man, I'm gonna lose probably a lot of strength, because obviously with pregnancy and even postpartum, my strength training is going to be very different, and it's gonna take time to get back to where I was pre-pregnancy as far as how much weight I can lift, how far I can push myself when it came to my muscle and my strength. So staying strong though has been a really main goal for me during this pregnancy. Also, how my nutrition and my workouts would improve or affect my moods. And also just knowing that working out and the things I'm eating are beneficial not only for me, but for baby. Crossing my fingers, because they do say that if you stay active during your pregnancy, you're gonna have a much better, hopefully a much better time during labor and postpartum recovery. Obviously, I do have ideas for my labor. I'm thinking about doing a separate video about my birth wishes, aka birth plan, but I'm refraining from using the word plan. But obviously I do have birth wishes. I would like to think that things will be able to be played out the way I am manifesting them and visualizing them, although no one can determine the outcome of how your birth will look like. But that doesn't mean that I would put my fitness on the back burner, because who knows what my labor will look like. And I do like to think that by keeping active, I will have a better recovery postpartum, no matter what my birth does look like. And so with these goals in mind, and the fact that I've been able to, you know, still be mindful about what I'm consuming and being mindful about how active I'm being. As I've mentioned before in my previous pregnancy recap so far, and just, you know, people that I've talked to, you know, just what I've been posting on Instagram, it's pretty obvious that I'm pretty much having an easy time during this pregnancy. Honestly, I don't want to like downplay it, but really I would say, like, compared to other possible scenarios, I'm kind of breezing through this one. I really haven't felt severe symptoms. I haven't felt sick or anything like that. My mood, although not perfect, because I do find myself getting a little more irritable, especially as we go farther along, but mood swings and fatigue and all of those common pregnancy struggles, I can honestly say I haven't really dealt with them the way I thought I would, or the way that I know they can happen. I would like to think that the way I'm treating my body has contributed to that, but who's to say, because down the line in future pregnancies, I could have it a totally different way, even if I do all of this diet and fitness and nutrition stuff at that time too. So we just won't know until we're there, and even then, maybe, I don't know. There's just really no saying, but I would like to think that it has helped. Who knows? Before we get into how my workout regimen has changed and what I'm doing for that, let's go into a little bit about nutrition, because I think a lot of people really don't know what to eat, how much they should be eating, you know, what is good for a baby, what is not, what's good for you, this and that. And it's really hard to say because you can look at all types of, you know, posts, information on the internet, and they'll tell you all the things that are so good for you to be eating. But the scary thing with pregnancy is that you just don't really know what your food aversions are going to be, if you have any. And aversions are like when you just can't eat something, even if you used to eat it before pregnancy. Just some things are just no longer sitting with you very well. So that was something that I was kind of scared of because I had an idea of what kind of foods I'd like to be eating during my pregnancy, but I didn't know if an aversion would kick in at some time, and it still could. I mean, things can change from one week to another with pregnancy. So far, I have had no food aversions. I'm still able to eat everything I liked before. And as far as cravings, I really don't get strong cravings for anything. I do find myself enjoying more of certain foods, but that's about it. My main goals though, and it's kind of similar to a diet even if you're not pregnant, but it's just to incorporate more whole foods, less processed foods, and definitely more good fats. Fats are so good for baby. So, you know, just doing little things here and there to incorporate more healthy fats and more carbs and complex carbs at that, to help not only just support, you know, my mood and my energy levels, but also to just help with digestion, which I'll get into as well in a minute. Very important too in your pregnancy diet is to be drinking lots of water, which is kind of annoying because yes, the peeing thing is super true. I feel like I pee 1,000,000 times a day. And pregnancy honestly just feels like this never-ending cycle of drinking lots of water, eating, peeing, and napping. Another thing that I've been implementing in my diet is collagen supplements. So I've posted this on my Instagram before, but I've definitely been very diligent about taking my collagen. I use Vital Collagen proteins. I've also used the collagen peptides from Gauge Life Supplements from Gauge Girl Training. I'll link both of those down below. They're both great, both flavorless. You can put them pretty much in almost any beverage. I would recommend it be a flavored beverage because it'll just taste that much better. But I definitely do my daily servings of collagen each and every day, even more so than I did before I was pregnant. 2 reasons. One of them, I'll admit, it's a vain reason. During pregnancy, I mentioned it before, there's absolutely no Botox, no fillers, no nothing like that going into my body. It's just not recommended. And also skincare has changed a whole lot. I'm not using as powerful stuff as I did before because again, certain ingredients aren't recommended during pregnancy. So I don't want to start looking, you know, a little older. I still want to look fresh. So I'm hoping that the collagen will help with that. And honestly, I kind of feel like it has. I've really been enjoying my skin this pregnancy. I don't know if it's just the hormones, the pregnancy glow, if you will, but I've really been liking my skin a lot. Second thing for implementing collagen is because of our growing bellies, our skin is stretching, it's gonna happen. And even though I've accepted the fact that if I get stretch marks, I get them, whatever, you know, but I do like to think that the collagen is gonna help with my skin elasticity when it comes to growing my belly, and then when it comes to postpartum and it kind of contracting back to what it was. That skin extra elasticity will really help, and collagen just helps support that. So I highly recommend taking collagen whether you're pregnant or not, but even more so during pregnancy. It may be more beneficial in the long run. Another thing, fiber. I've talked about this before too in one of my videos, but I've definitely been super mindful of my fiber. I mentioned this on my Instagram one day, but one of the things I feared the most during pregnancy was constipation. It's a very common pregnancy symptom. Or side effect, I guess. I have struggled with digestion issues in the past before I did my whole fitness journey, and it's been totally transformed during my fitness journey, and I was just so afraid of getting back to that place where I would struggle with constipation during pregnancy. So I've been very mindful of fiber. I do tend to snack a lot on granola that has flax seeds. I find that flax seeds really help me, also with the water intake, but also taking some Metamucil. At first, I was just doing one Metamucil, serving a day every now and then. Now in my second trimester, I'll do it every day, if not twice a day. And so far, everything has still been good. So I'm hoping that just keeps up. So now let's go into fitness. I am going to go over my macros and everything and how I adjusted those during my trimester so far. But before I do that, I just kind of want to address what exactly my workout routine. If you guys follow me on social media, like on Instagram, you do know that I have still been going to the gym. I have still been working out. I've been staying active. And definitely my workout regimen has changed a bit, and I've modified my workouts to fit this pregnancy. So we'll kind of go over that right now. So basically, my workout regimen and goal is to just work out at least 3 to 4 times a week. So 1 to 2 of those days will be just strictly cardio based, low impact. I love the Stairmaster. I'm pretty sure that's obvious if you follow me on Instagram. I love the Stairmaster. So 1 to 2 days, 40 minutes on the Stairmaster. Not in super high intensity, but just enough to keep my heart rate at that nice cardio level. But I am able to still, if someone were to call me, I could talk to them on the phone. I definitely would be a little out of breath, but it's definitely not like I'm overly exerting myself. And then another 1 to 2 days of strength training. And then not only that, but even if my, 3 to 4 days aren't met at the gym, we do go walking every evening after dinner. We do about a 20-minute walk, and I've just been also mindful of making sure that I am moving around. When it comes to lifting, because I know it can be very scary, I know it's very, you get concerned, especially if you're someone who's not very familiar with the strength training type of workouts, and then you see a pregnant person lifting and squatting and doing all this stuff. It can be a little concerning. You really have to question, is that really safe? And just like anything else, as far as what type of workouts you're used to, if you were a runner before pregnancy, if you were a swimmer, if you were a weightlifter, whatever, you can still do all of that while pregnant. Of course, your doctor has to give you the okay, and your body, when you're pushing it, and where it can go. And I think being mindful of that is very important. But if you were never a runner, or if you've never lifted weights before pregnancy, and then you want to start doing that during pregnancy, that's when it's a no-no, because your body is just not conditioned for that type of workout. So since I have been doing strength training for a little over a year before getting pregnant, I'm still continuing with it, although I'm not lifting nearly as much as I used to. During my first trimester, it was definitely okay, no more trying to reach PRs, anything like that. So basically, I was just lifting what I normally could lift, to complete 4 sets of let's say 10 reps or something. During my second trimester, as the belly is growing, as I'm stretching out, and just overall safety, I'm still lifting, but now I'm down to about maybe half of the weight that I was lifting prior to pregnancy, especially when it comes to lower body. I think lower body is the area that scares us the most when it comes to lifting in pregnancy. As far as upper body, definitely still need to be careful, not only just because of the overall well-being of your baby, but our cores are so compromised during pregnancy that if we are not treating our cores properly, we can have serious damage sometimes for after pregnancy. So I'm definitely trying to be mindful of engaging my core properly, no matter if it's upper or lower body workouts. But definitely I'm still able to lift basically what I could before, but again, it's still nothing like what I was before. No PRs, nothing like that, just definitely lifting at a comfortable level. I'm pretty sure as I get further, once we're in our 3rd trimester, it'll change again. So if I feel the need to update on how my workout routine is going, then I'll make a separate video for fitness and health end of pregnancy. Okay, I had to take a little break from filming earlier, so now it's way later in the day, significantly later. So if I look a little different, it's because we've gone through a whole day. If you hear flapping, it's Wesley. He's shaking his ears. Anyways, but yeah, where we left off before I had to go step out was about the macros. So as I mentioned earlier in the video, when I found out I was pregnant, I immediately stopped my shred that I was on because I was currently in a deficit. And so I bumped my calories and macros back up to maintenance. So when I found out I was pregnant, I was at 130 pounds. had just actually reached like the 129s. I think I was eating around 12 to 1300 calories for my shred. So I added the 500 calories back to bump myself back up to maintenance. Just side note, this is for my body type, my height, my age, my activity level. If you guys want to figure out how to figure out your macros, I do have a video explaining all of that. I'll link mine and several others below so you can figure out your macros even if you're not pregnant, like just if you want to, lose weight, maintain bulk, whatever. So now for my maintenance and for all of my first trimester, I was eating around just a little over 1700 calories. Protein 104 grams, fat 65 grams, and carbs 179 grams daily. And so yeah, I kept with all of that up throughout my whole first trimester. I will say, even though I didn't have morning sickness or nausea, really, I mentioned this in my first trimester recap video, there were a few weeks out of that first trimester where I wasn't necessarily nauseous, but there was just certain times where like I knew I was hungry or I knew I had to eat something, but just nothing really seemed appetizing. Nothing grossed me out. It's just, I just couldn't pinpoint what I wanted to eat. So at that point, I would just eat really basic foods and stuff. Like, I would actually have Danny kind of be the ones to take the reins on like what to have for dinner. And sometimes he'd just be like, well, do you want like breakfast food? Like, you want like a breakfast sandwich? And I'd be like, you know what, that's fine. So now going into my second trimester, and I'm gonna be staying at these macros pretty much until the end. I do expect to have a shift in my macros and my calorie intake once baby is here. My goal is to breastfeed. I've mentioned this before. Breastfeeding takes a lot of calories since you definitely burn so much when you're breastfeeding. So I'm probably gonna have to bump them up again, but we'll see when that time comes. I don't know what my breastfeeding experience will be like. So currently, right now, my macros, I'm sitting at 2,000 calories, just a little over 2,000 calories. It's 2,017 calories. Right now, I'm consuming about 239 grams of carbs, 110 grams of protein, and 69 grams of fat per day. So carbs do make up the bulk of my diet, and then it's fat, and then it's protein. So I definitely have been incorporating, this is what I'm trying to incorporate the most in my diet right now. So I've been eating a lot of oatmeal, a lot of complex carbs. I've been trying to incorporate a lot of eggs with the yolk, because like I said, those good fats in the yolk. I've been eating a lot of almond milk, and almond milk really just for the calcium. Olive oil to cook with instead of just using Pam like how I would prior. Salad dressings that are made with olive oil. Salmon, I still have salmon in my diet, not a whole lot, but you can still have salmon even though you're pregnant. Not all fish is off limits. And yeah, just really like being mindful of eating foods that are highly satiating for me and that will keep me full. And I'm trying to be very mindful about how I eat because again, with digestion and everything, so trying to like eat slowly and small bites because I do find that like towards the end of the day, I don't really get like that hungry feeling. I feel like I'm actually very like full and heavy by the end of the day. So when it comes to dinner, I'm like eating and then by like the end, I'm like, man, I could eat a second plate like if I really forced myself, but I know I'll be feeling it. So I know not to go for the seconds and just wait until later on if I do want a snack or something. But yeah, it's very weird because especially as like I'm starting to grow a lot more right now, I definitely feel like I'm like, okay, it's getting tight with room. And I kind of felt like that towards the end of my first trimester, but then it's like you make room. I don't know, it's very weird, like your stomach finally stretches or something, but I don't want to feel stuffed 24/7 if that makes sense. So right now, I'm 24 weeks. I'm currently weighing in this morning at 152. So that has put me at about a 22 pound weight gain so far. So 22 pounds over the course of 24 weeks, and 24 weeks right now, that's a little less than a pound. It's like 0.9 something a pound a week. So far so good. I honestly feel like I'm on track. If that stays steady still until, let's say I make it full term and we're 40 weeks, that put me about a total of a 36 pound weight gain, which is honestly like ideal for me, considering what I started off before this pregnancy at. I know I had mentioned in my previous video about my app that I'm using to help track my weight. And on the app, I mentioned this in that video that it does suggest that the weight range is like 15 to 25 pounds. I personally feel like that's very low, especially for, keep in mind, this is like an estimated BMI that this app is giving, because it just knows my height and my weight. It doesn't know my body comp. So I do feel like I had more muscle ratio compared to fat before, like at the very beginning of my pregnancy, like before finding out I was pregnant. So according to this app, it put me at a BMI of 25.4. I don't know how accurate that was. And BMI is like an estimate no matter where you get it done. It's not like 100% accurate. There's really no way to know your fat and muscle index ratio, whatever. I mean, I'm 5 foot. I was weighing at 129, 130 pre-pregnancy, like when I found out. So, I mentioned in that last video that like 25 to 35 pounds of weight gain sounds like pretty good to me. So I think if I stay on track with that, it's fine. If I gain more, I gain more, and so be it. I'm really trying to stress and put it out there that, like, don't be concerned about the number. It'll play mind games with you if you do that, if you're obsessed about how much weight you're gaining during pregnancy. As long as your doctor says you're healthy, you're fine, your weight gain is fine, that's all you need to know. As long as you feel fine, baby's fine, you're gonna gain the amount of weight that your body's meant to. And sometimes it's just not fully in our control. But if you're doing your part, knowing you're eating good, you're treating your body well, you're moving when you can, and resting when you can, then I think all is good. I am officially weighing more right now than what I did a few years ago before I started my own fitness journey and lost all that weight. I had lost a total of just like around 30 pounds when I lost all my weight at the beginning of my fitness journey, my weight loss journey, if you will. And even now, weighing more than I did previous to losing my weight, I actually really like the way I look now and 6 months pregnant, because of how recompositioned my body has become. You know, I've gone through a couple years already of weight loss and then strength training and building muscle and everything. So I am forever thankful to my past self for doing that, for my future self, because before getting into taking care of my health and my fitness and everything, I had that mindset of, why work out and get in shape now if I'm just gonna have kids down the road and it's all gonna go to shit anyway? I might as well just start a fitness thing after kids. Had I stayed with that mindset and that game plan, I mean, I would have started off this pregnancy already at like 148, 150. And then now, I mean, add 22, and who knows how much I'll be gaining at the end, like 35, let's say 35 pounds. Add 35 pounds to that, I mean, I'm gonna be like in the 180s. That's a lot of weight and for me to carry, especially someone my height, and especially someone who wasn't, like, didn't have endurance, didn't have any type of strength. I had no muscle back then. So I'm so thankful, and I just wanted to put that out there because in case any of you are like, well, why do it now? I'm gonna have kids down the road. In case any of you are thinking like how I thought, do yourself a favor, do your future self a favor, and try to start incorporating, you know, new habits into your lifestyle in order to get your body as healthy and prepared as it can be, especially if you do plan on one day having children. I'm so glad I did it. It's put my mindset in a totally different place than I know I would have been had I never done that. And my body is probably at a totally different place than it would have been had I never done that. There's no way of really knowing, but I have a really deep gut feeling that that's, you know, it wouldn't have been like it is right now. So that wraps up this video. If you guys have any questions, as always, let me know in the comments. You can follow me on my accounts. I'll link them down below. And everything I said I mentioned in this video, I'll put it down below as well. But yeah, see you guys in my next video. Bye.